percentage, right, which is assigned if we do a great project and present it to the faculty, right? There are marks for that, right? So there are millions and millions of projects, right, that happen in every college, right? Every engineering graduate or who is studying the engineering build some kind of a engineering project. But what happens, I mean, every project, right, 90 or more than 90% projects doesn't go for commercial viability. When we say the commercial viability, people are going to pay for that, right? That's what we say, the commercial viability. So that's what we gonna discuss in today's topic, right? Whatever we are going to talk about, right? So we can start it, right? So today's agenda is the introduction, then the science research. I mean, engineering born out of the science research, right? So that's where the engineering start. Engineering is the next part. What happens first is the science research, right? So what we say, the lab to market, right? So that's what we say. So we're gonna talk about bit of science research, deep tech startups as well, and then we will talk about what are the other areas that you can build a product which you can take to the commercial viability. And then what is the product development? What are the product development stages? How to commercialize that part? Then there are a few case studies from the deep tech and tech-enabled startups that we're gonna discuss about. Then what are the future trends and key lessons and the closing, right? So that's what we're gonna discuss in this discussion. So technology has profoundly transformed the businesses, right? If we take the example, everybody knows about ChatGPT, Claude, Grok. There are so many LLM models, right, which transform the businesses, how businesses are working, and it's impacting positively as well as negatively as well, right, in so many industries, right? So that's what technology does. Any new technology, right? Any new technology revolution, when it happens, it impacts in so many areas of our life. So transitioning from the technical project to the commercial product is a challenging process, right? Because everybody build a prototype, everybody build a product or technical project, what we can call it, right, in third year, fourth year. But every project doesn't go to the commercial viability. That's what we said earlier, right? So that's what we're gonna discuss as well. Then we will discuss about the case studies and frameworks as well. Now, why this topic matters, right? We discussed that, right? Because less than 1% reach to the market. And what are the reasons for that? Why does that fail? Because usually as an engineer, we more focus on the technology part. We don't focus on the business part, right? We run behind the cool tech, what we call, right? But we don't understand what is the market sentiment, what consumer want, right? And there are big companies whose big projects failed because they didn't understand what is the consumer demand. That's why they failed, right? Then we build a prototype, the initial basic version of the product, but it is not just a prototype. If we want to sustain and scale, we need to build a product market fit that we're gonna discuss later. Then there are no funding, no money, right? That is the basic thing, right? To build anything on a large scale, to take it to the large scale, we need money, but fundraising is out. And then there are mentors, there are ecosystem enablers, right? So that ecosystem lacks right now. So these are the main reason why engineering projects fail when it comes to the commercial viability. Now, the famous failure, right? The Google Glass. How many of you know the Google Glass when they launched in 2013 or something? Anyone? So when we augmented reality and the virtual reality, those are the concepts are now the new norms in the last 2-3 years. When they launched, that was not the new norm, right? Far ahead of the time, right? So it was a virtual assistants, then the recording, right? All those features were included in that. And the cost of that Google Glass was $1,500, right?